Well, here we are. We pulled into our good friend Dick's place. Tony pulled his Axis over here. I brought the Wolfe Ridge over here. We're not going to do like a splitter wars or anything like that.
We're going to talk about what's the differences between them, some of the benefits of one over the other because of just the features and benefits of them. And then we're just going to go from there and show you how to split some of these and what the differences are.
And I want to say right up front, doesn't matter what you pick, they're both great splitters.
Exactly. We've used both of them. They split fantastically. Yep. They're both commercial splitters,
yep,
and they're awesome.
Yep, and if you buy one, you can't go wrong with either one. They're going to work good, they're going to hold their value, they're going to last a long time. If you ever decide to upgrade or change to something else, you get your money back. So
they're definitely
a no-brainer
an asset.
Oh,
yep.
Absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, Tony bought your Axis how long ago now? About
it's coming on 3 years, I think.
3 years. And if you go back to the old videos when Tony first got it, when you pulled it out of your shed for the first time on my channel,
yep,
that was the first time we used it.
That's
and
it.
We found out some things even then that, because this was the very first version.
Yes.
When they very first came out. And they've made some improvements since then. We'll talk about those.
Well, once again, we went through it and there were some items and we did mention them.
Yep.
And they were a company that listens to their customers. Yep. Is a company I'm going to deal with.
Right.
And they fixed all the issues that we had mentioned or what we thought were issues. And
right. And Eastonmade and Wolfe Ridge are small enough owner-operators that they want to do it right.
Exactly.
Whereas if you're going to a brand name, so to speak, that's a company where it's just another
conglomerate,
asset. Yeah, they're going to make them and they're going to send them out and they don't care.
That's
for the most part.
100% right.
So yeah, there's things different. We're going to talk about them, show you what they are, hopefully do some close-ups, show how they actually operate, things that we like, things we don't like, all the little stuff. We're going to go over it. So if you're trying to decide between the two, there's going to be things that you might like better.
Correct.
On one versus the other. There might be a reason you pick one over the other because of either a feature or whatever it is that's on the machines, but essentially they both work.
When you look at them, they're so close together, it's hard to pick one apart.
And they're both about the same price.
Yeah, exactly.
The only difference is obviously the Wolfe Ridge doesn't have an elevator, but you can get an elevator for it. Tony has an elevator, but that's an extra
$3,300.
Yeah, it's like $3,000. So the base on these are both right around 12 to 13, somewhere in there. Yeah, around 13. So base price is about the same. And that might sound like a lot of money to some of you that are used to like a box store splitter for $1,000.
That's it.
This is not a box store splitter. This is a professional model for professional work, for industrial. Get it done every day, all day, go, go, go.
Without a doubt, it's continual use. Right. So it's an 8-hour work day. If you were to rent this out or if you have an employee.
I work more like 12 or 16.
Well, you're the exception to the rule. We all know that.
So we've got some rounds here. We're at our buddy Dick's place. So he's got a big oak forest here. It's just absolutely awesome. And he brought us up some rounds. So we're going to do some splitting and we'll film each other splitting stuff and then we'll talk about it and we'll kind of show the features. So first, let's do this. Let's go over the machines one at a time.
Perfect.
So we'll do your Axis and then we'll do the Wolfe Ridge and we'll talk about the differences and then we'll do some splitting after that. Does that sound like a plan?
Sounds like a plan.
Let's make some more noise here.
Okay, we're going to start with the Axis first. The unit is a 14-ton splitter and it does have a 24-inch stroke here. Now with that, I got the conveyor. Now this is the older conveyor. The newer conveyors have a rotating conveyor system here so that you can do multiple IBC totes, which is really, really nice.
Or to spread the pile out.
Or to spread the pile out. The other thing is the revised aggressive chain here. This is I believe it's a Loggers 81 chain here, but it's extremely aggressive and it takes the material up very quickly.
And you just put this on?
I had put it on, a little bit ago, but haven't seen much because I've been doing bundle wood, so I just put it right into the IBC tote. So going from there, it's a 25-gallon hydraulic tank here. And it does have the gauge to let you know. And the one nice thing about the commercial splitters is you can work on them for hours in hot weather and you're not going to get it foaming up on you. It does stay pretty doggone cool. Now this unit does not come with an oil cooler. The newer units do come with an oil cooler. The one thing that I really like, I can't use it now, it does have pallet pockets or for pallet forks here. So those are nice. You can move the machine, because this machine here, this is the older machine. The newer machines are 2,500 pounds without the conveyor and about 2,800 pounds with the conveyor. So you got a heck of a piece of steel.
More than our tractors can lift.
More than our tractors can lift, exactly. So, but the other thing is they have highway towing tires, and it does use a torsion system as opposed to the leaf spring. Now, they're both about the same. You can travel quickly with them.
Yeah, I followed you here, and it looked like it wasn't bouncing at all.
Yeah, it tracks extremely well behind the trailer. The one thing that the ultimate thing that I love about this is the foot control. Now, this foot control here, there's only about a 1/2 inch of movement on it. So when you take a look at it, and I press down, that's all that's necessary for engagement for this. And the nice thing too is you can feather this. So if you've got kindling and you're cutting kindling, you're not getting that rapid movement. You can slowly bring this knife down. I mean, minutely with this.
You don't have to go all the way down.
And you don't have to, yeah.
Full
But it does have auto return, which is an awesome feature for it. So, but this 1/2 inch, and we'll show you when we get on the back of it. There's no kind of flimsy cables or anything. They use Heim joints, which are really nice. You can see the first one up here. These, with these threaded rods here. So when I'm moving it, this has a ball, almost like a ball bearing on it. So really a nice system there. And as far as the table, love this table. It is a wider table here. The one thing that we noticed on this machine that we noted, the newer machines have this, and that is a table that's flush across here. This one's about 1/4 of an inch lower, so if I have a large block of wood, a 30-inch block of wood here, I can't bring it across here. It kept hitting. So I just did a quick fix here and put a 3/8 or a 1/2 inch piece of IBC material, tote material here, and it just slides right on here, no problem.
Oh, so that's just a piece of tote bladder.
Yeah, this is the tote bladder. Recycled it. It's built like a tank. It looks like it's 5/8 inch of a material steel here, and it's all turned here, very nice smooth edges, and it's fantastic. Powder coated, as you can tell.
Yep.
And by coating it, I use a product, I can't remember the name of it. Fluid film, that's the name of it. I spray the heck out of this 2 or 3 times a year, and as you can see, there's very little wear on it here.
So with the fluid film, does it make it easier to move the rounds?
Yes. Oh, you can take a 300-pound block of wood here and slide it very easily on here. That really is nice, yeah.
And then the wedge is just a single knife.
Single knife, which is super, super nice in that it's, I kind of like this. Now there's a couple different styles. Some of the other ones use a secondary wedge on top for popping it. Right. What I found with this knife is it's like cutting bread. You go, even in a crotchy piece of wood, it cuts it down tremendously, or it cuts it very smoothly and shears it. So that's a nice feature here, and that's a pretty stout. The one thing that I would like to have is if this was only an inch, maybe 2 inches, because when you're standing here and you have a block here, I'm short. It seems like it's a little short, yeah. But just a little bit longer. Yeah, but other than that.
So you basically have to put the blocks right up tight to the back.
Yes, and what I use, which is nice, these things are about 1.5 inches or 1.75 inches. So when I put a block of wood, I use this as my reference point. Sure. So I'm getting blocks that are like this. And for me, it's the bundle wood, which is primarily it. If you're doing standard wood for boilers or anything, you don't have to do that. But this is just a great way of either, if you're left-handed or if you're right-handed, you can use either of these twin beams here. And that's another thing. This uses the twin beam system instead of a solid one I-beam on it. Mm-hmm. And I have put some ugly, ugly wood on here, and I don't see any twisting or anything on the machine when I'm working with it. Have I gotten it stuck? Absolutely. But these peelers here really do a great job, because when the block comes up, it hits that and knocks it right down.
Well, you're using gravity at the same time.
Exactly.
Where's a horizontal splitter?
Well, as you know, the trick that we all learned with the chain to put it on and let the hydraulics do the job pulling it off of
You
there.
probably never had to do that with this though.
No, like I say, the peelers, I have gotten it stuck to where I had to pound it a little bit because it kind of got wedged in here. But yeah, other than that, maybe one time.
I found if you're constantly having pieces get stuck, it's operator error. You read the wood wrong, or you put a piece in you shouldn't have, or
That's it.
Too big of a bite, or split a crotch, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
One thing you pointed out there, and that is reading your wood. The one thing about this machine too is, and this is it's just the nature of this machine. If you have a piece of wood that's cut at an angle, and no, it's not cut by a steel chainsaw, but if you have it, that's why it's so imperative to cut it at 90 degrees, because if you have a piece of wood and it's angled towards you and this knife comes down, you're going to get hit.
I got punched in the gut using the Wolfe Ridge.
Yeah, it does.
It's because I had the point down instead of the point up.
Correct. And that's the thing. If you reverse it, then it's going against that beam.
Or have the flattest side on the base down here.
Exactly.
Have your knife cut into the wood.
That's it. That's it. And once again, this conveyor system with this ratcheting system works pretty doggone good. I've had no issues. I personally don't use the conveyor as much as I could just because of the type of work that I do, but it's super convenient to have it.
Right.
So that's kind of everything in here.
How big is the tank on this? Do you know?
25 gallon.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
25 gallon.
Well, let's go around to the back and look at all the action spots. How often do you use totes? Quite often?
All the time.
Yeah.
That's, now for me, they make sense. For someone like you, no, they don't. Now, this is the 14 horsepower Vanguard. And I know I always say that I'm non-denominational. I truly like Honda motors, but I understand this Vanguard is a tank as well. It works fantastic. The only issue is, and I'm not going to mention the salesman at Eastonmade, but he didn't mention the electric start, and I will tell you, for anybody, if you're getting a 14 horsepower motor, spend the $300 and get electric start. You'll thank me later on, because when it gets cold outside and that oil is thick, you're going to curse this machine.
And as your shoulder gets more and more...
As we get older, absolutely. Electric start is the only way to go. It's not even an option. You definitely need it.
So you've got your outriggers out, I see.
Yes, this one does come, well, these come with outriggers, and that's just because you've got this big old thing hanging off the side here.
That's like 300 pounds or something, you said?
No, that's probably right in the area of about 200. This one, this is a shorty. Okay. So I want to say it's about 200 pounds. But the outriggers, most of the time, I'm not using the outriggers. And the reason is I'm just resplitting or just doing rounds that are 15 to 18 inches. But it's always a good idea if you're on uneven surfaces to put it on. And typically one thing, if you're ordering one of these splitters, unless they have changed, make sure if you're picking it up at a trucking depot or whatever, you're not going to get it assembled. You're going to have it in two pieces. So just be aware of that in most cases. Unless you get the driver that delivers from Eastonmade, you might have it. But the problem is, if it's assembled, they can't go under some bridges because they're too low.
Because it's up on their deck.
That's exactly it. So on a semi-tractor, a full semi-tractor, you really do need to be aware of that and bring a trailer with you. So you can't just hook it up like most people think, oh, I'll just put it on the back of my trailer hitch and go drive away. No, you have to assemble it. It's super easy. It's only one bolt here, and but you really need two people to assemble it.
Tell me about the tongs, removable just like a lot of Eastonmade.
Exactly. This one here, I take it off so I don't hit myself in the shin all the time. But I just, for theft prevention too, if I'm leaving it somewhere like over here, I will take this off and keep it in my vehicle, and then that way it just makes it a deterrent.
I did that at my old Woodyard with my Ultra. I would just take the tongue and I'd put it in my building because you really can't move it without it. I mean, you can, but
it's tough.
Yeah,
it's really tough.
It's going to slow down the drive away.
Yep. One other thing, just if you're getting one, regardless of whether it's this machine or the Honda machine, this device right here, it's called the Drains It. I've done a video on it. It's for oil and for simplicity, you just install it into the block here. Then there's just a 9/16 nut, and you can put it into 1 gallon, and it's just super convenient.
Yep, very nice. I didn't know what that was, though. I like that. I'm gonna have to get one of those.
Yeah, those are nice. The hydraulic controls for the conveyor here are right over here. And I believe, I don't know this for a fact yet, but I believe that the newer ones, this one here, if I turn it on, I'm taking some of the power away from the splitting wedge. The newer ones, I don't think that's the case. So that's a nice feature here. And you can dial these to go 2 inches, you know, I mean, very small increments, and we'll show that here once we start it up. But the other thing that's really cool is the simplicity of the limiter. The limiter, if you want 14 inches, 16 inches, 18 inches, it's super easy. You just lift this up here, put that up, yeah. Spring, yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Very good.
So as far as that, we covered the table. The one thing I wish is that there was some kind of a system that when you're traveling, that this log lift is an easier way of doing it. Because for a one person, it could be difficult. I have to hook a ratchet strap up to here on the top, lift it up, hold it, position the piston on the bottom. It's not an easy task.
Yeah, and that piston needs to be disconnected for you to haul it.
That's correct. Yep.
We can show that when we leave today.
Yep.
We'll show what it looks like when you're traveling.
Yeah.
Very good.
But other than that, awesome machine. I have had no issues with it. It's cuts like a dream. And the best part is being vertical, you save your back. For production people, they might say, no, this is not the right machine. Yeah, probably if you have...
Well, we were talking before we started here that ideally, this is the machine you have that you dump your wood by, or you push it with your tractor, you push your pile closer to you, and then something smaller like my Ultra is one you can take to the wood and move the splitter.
Absolutely.
To the wood. So 2 is the right number.
Yeah.
Or more.
Or more. Or more, exactly.
Everybody should have a couple.
I think we've covered most of the machine here, so...
If we don't, I'm sure people in the comments will let us know.
Oh, absolutely.
If everybody finds something that we don't know or has a question we didn't think of,
Whew,
we covered
these
the
sweat bees, geez,
yeah,
they're crazy.
These are on everything. All right.
Fortunately, they're not stinging.
Yeah. So now we're going to go over and we're going to cover the Wolfe Ridge 17 VS. So the Wolfe Ridge, this was brought to me by Bob Nelson, who works for Wolfe Ridge. He's their salesperson. This machine is going to probably be sold by the time you guys see this video, but this is going to the show, which is actually in, what, 4 days? In Green Bay. At the logging show. This actual machine will be there. It is going to be for sale, and we've done a couple of videos so people know it's for sale, so it might be sold, but you could still get one of these. They make them every day. The whole machine itself weighs right around 2,000 pounds. It tows awesome. Now, this has leaf springs on the bottom versus the torsion ones that are on the Eastonmade, but it tows really nice. Doesn't bounce around at all. You can go up to 80 miles an hour towing it, no problem. I went on the interstate here and I was like 70, 72, something like that. I was speeding by 2 miles an hour.
I was going to say, were you legal? We don't want any illegals.
I had to change lanes, so.
Oh.
It towed really nice. I was surprised because a lot of machines that I've towed, especially splitters, where they have just a straight axle and just tires, they're bouncing.
Oh, agreed. So
I shut the gas off on it, so when I was going down the road, I didn't flood it out here because it did start. We tried it. This is, like I said, the Wolfe Ridge. This has a little feature that the Eastonmade doesn't have. You can hang up your gloves and your ear protection right there on the Wolf.
Wow.
That's something new. They
Apparel hangers, huh?
There you go. So yeah, it's a VS17, 17 tons versus the Eastonmade is 14. 14's plenty. Because it's a single knife, I think 14 is all you really need. I've never had a problem with my Ultra because that's also 14. Basically, my Ultra is the same machine.
Horizontal, exactly.
So it's a horizontal version of the vertical one. There's outriggers front and back. Now the front ones here aren't movable other than up and down, so you can lock it in place. The foot pedal, you can lift that up and then pull this pin. And it just locks like that.
You want to show that again?
Yep, I'm just going to pull it up. There it is. And
All
you can
right.
lift it up and lock it in. It's got the log lift right in front here, which is really nice. Your lever, so your log lift is right there. This is something that is nice. The controls are right in front. You have your...
That is one nice feature.
Yep. And then you got high and low, so you can run at lower speed if you want, which is nice sometimes. Or you can just tone it down if you're going to be loading up your rounds onto your lift, or if you need to move more rounds, you can idle it down, let your machine still run, and then turn it back up to the fast speed once you start working.
One thing I love about this is the auto choke that you
auto
don't.
choke. Yeah, you just turn the key. That's all you do.
That's it. That is way sweet.
And that's a feature of the actual engine. It has the Honda. It's
390 or
it's a 390, but it's a special lettering like IGX or something. It's
Gotcha.
a GX, but it's got. It might be I for ignition or E or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But so that's a 14 horsepower engine. It's a Honda, which is really nice. That's one thing about the Wolfe Ridges. They have the Hondas, which are awesome. I love the Hondas. So that's kind of the front. Oh, it has the fenders, whereas the Eastonmade doesn't, as far as I know, even the new one. So it has fenders on it. And then the deck, obviously, it's a little bit bigger. I don't know, we'll have to measure maybe. It might be a little longer and a little deeper. The wedge is definitely wider. Inches wise, I don't know. We'll have to measure that. We'll do that later on. But I think it's a good couple inches longer as far as the wedge. And this wedge, we'll show you later too. If you bring the camera, you can aim up here and you can see this. It's got the wider part up in here, if you see that. So it's got the narrow part and then the wider part. So
a double wedge, yeah.
It's supposed to help your wood pop apart. They both work. It doesn't really matter. It works great. We'll come around to the back over here. It's a 28-gallon tank, and it's aluminum. It's welded in-house. They have a really good welder, as you can see. A guy obviously knows how to weld. So your fill is right here. It's got the gauge in the back, your sight gauge in the back for your temperature and your level. It's got, obviously, the battery is on here because it is an electric start. The cool thing about this is the tongue doesn't come off. I suppose you could take it off, but it's got a swing away. So you just pull this pin, and then you can lock it in. And then you hook it up, so just pop this pin in, and then it's in.
Once again, it's saving inside your garage so you don't have knee busters.
Yep, really nice. It's got the outrigger jacks on both sides here. So right now they're in all the way. We did not extend them on this one, but they come out about 2 feet, but it's not really necessary for what we're going to do today. But they do just slide right out, so you can get it more stable if that's what you want to do. So the engine here, let's see if I can see what it says. I can see where it says Honda, trying to see if I can see the numbers and how it's worded. And I can't even see it because it's tucked in there, but it is a 390. Then you've got your instruction manual and all your stuff right here. The new thing they added was this little debris tray, because debris would fall in here. The debris comes down in here and then it can jiggle out all the way down and fall out, so it's not catching down in there. So it's just a nice little feature. It does have a built-in hour meter on it. Right now we're at 11.8 hours. It's about a 1-gallon tank, I believe. I ran premium in it. The lift over on this side here is permanently attached, so you don't have to pull any pins or anything. It's just always on. It's in the down position now, but for travel, all you do is you just tip it up and it stays. There's no
That's a nice
straps,
feature.
no hooks or anything. I did put a strap on it because I was going down the interstate and I didn't want something to happen with the hydraulics where it would come down on me. But it's not even necessary. When Bob brought it, he didn't have it tied on at all. He just had it in up position. And
Well, he has insurance, you don't.
Well, and he brought it from the factory, so. But yeah, it's got a nice cycle time. The one thing different that I did find versus the Wolfe Ridge versus the Eastonmade, is the foot pedal is just a little stiffer. And I don't know pounds wise, I would say if this one has a 5-pound pressure, the Eastonmade probably is 3. It's just a little more pressure. It's got a fast speed, so if you go down slow, you can have your wedge come down slow. And if you let up slow on the pedal, it'll go up slow. But if you snap your foot off quick, it'll go up quick. And if you forget, all you do is you bump that with your knee, this knob right here, and it'll go up really fast. And I found that I got better at it as I used it, and it came to be second nature, so it was no problem at all. So, anything else you can think of?
Yeah, the limiter.
Oh, in the backside?
Yeah.
Oh, let's do this right here. So now this version right here is the 20-inch version, and they have an option you can get 24 for the height
Right.
of the wedge and the whole unit. So this is the 20-incher, which is, for me, is fine.
20-inch stroke is fine for most
and there's
people.
some people that do boiler wood that want
Right.
24. We'll go around to the back here. So the limiter is one thing we didn't cover. I'm going to show you that. All it is just this knob right here. You loosen this up, you get it to the level you want it as far as your wedge being high, low, wherever you want it, and then you just tighten it back up, and that's it. Because this is just connected right down to the foot pedal. Super simple. There's nothing to it. It's really easy. So that's basically the limiter. Other than that, it's a 2-stage pump. They're about the same price. We mentioned that earlier. So I think it's time we make some little pieces of wood.
Hey, I like that idea.
Okay, load her up.
Okay. I like doing the logs so that I just roll them on right here. It's so much easier for me. I use my pickaroon or hookaroon and put them right on here. Instead of doing this and loading them, I do this and I can stack a heck of a lot more in there.
Right, you got a bigger...
Yes, we have the bigger tray and a bigger lip here.
Yep.
So these are 18 inches. Most of my stuff is cut at 16 inches. So it stacks really good. So I can get this area and this area. So I have a great staging area and I don't have to keep loading it. I do it one time. Once it's through, I idle the machine down,
Right.
load it up again.
Right. Well,
So let me start it and we'll show you the log lift. Now you know why you need electric start. Now you can tip it up more and let it slide down. I'm gonna go turn the conveyor on. And that's it in a nutshell.
It's pretty quick. It works.
Yes, and with the new conveyor belt on there, it really takes the material out quickly.
Yeah, the new teeth on here are really nice.
They're super aggressive, yes.
Grab really well. Yep, yep. That's a big improvement. That's nice.
Absolutely.
I'm a little more soft, so I have to wear gloves. I'm not manly like you. But I also am not strong enough to pull a rope either. I got to do this.
Oh, sure, rub it in. Hey, I don't think that was fair. You only let me do one piece.
Well, I'm going to let you run this one now.
Okay.
I'm going to run yours. Because going back and forth is how you
Oh,
really
absolutely.
you get a feel for what they're doing. So, I don't know. I don't.
All right, let me try it.
Once I get going, I just go.
I know.
Want me to help you with that key?
Ha 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 ha. I can't pull it. That's nice. Pretty awesome.
Yeah, they're both fast.
Exactly.
I like the front control.
Oh,
The,
the start, absolutely.
and a high-low on it, it's nice.
No.
Now, the people are going to comment on this because they saw it. We had the log lift there, but the logs vibrated off because we don't have this level. We're actually slanted towards you a lot.
True.
It's a good 2-3 inch drop.
But here's the thing, regardless of whether you have the large one on your level or this, they will on some of the logs vibrate right off.
Yeah. But you want a slight tilt to the inside.
Exactly.
And we've
Yep.
We've got it adjusted.
Oh, yeah, it's tilted this way and it's tilted this way, so we got a double whammy.
We needed to drop the front end is what we needed.
Yeah.
But I'm going to split the rest of this then.
Exactly.
If I don't split all this wood, Dick's going to be mad.
Well, let me start it with my electric start back here.
Start that. Just push
Yeah.
that button or whatever.
Here, I'm going to put the electric start on.
Okay.
See how easy that is? Fast work, fast work.
So there we go. We did some splitting.
Well, what do you think?
They both are awesome.
You know what?
It's just,
It'd be hard pressed. I mean, if they blindfolded, oh wait, you can't do that. But no, they are. They're almost identical. There's a couple of features here and there. Other than that, they split identically.
the thing, obviously, you've got an elevator, which you can get for the Wolfe Ridge.
Correct,
So
yeah.
you can get that. Your blade is a little shorter. This one's a little wider, so you get a little bigger cut. Your foot pedal, I think, is a little easier.
Mm-hmm.
This one's a little harder. It's got a little more pressure to it, but as this one wears in, I think it'll be just fine. Your lift table's bigger. I like that.
Yep.
But I don't like the fact that you have to connect it to use it.
Well, that's it. That's why I said that would be one thing, an upgrade that would be nice, so that you don't have to disconnect it.
Right.
You
And
know,
this one's just always
especially.
connected. So
Yeah, and you just put it up and it goes all the way up. Yep.
obviously, front controls with the start,
Oh,
the key,
that's-
and your high-low.
That's automatic.
I like the fact that the log lift is right here. You don't have to reach up and around, which is not a big deal. I'm sure you get used to it.
Mm-hmm. Once again, front controls on everything, so.
This has fenders, that one doesn't. Outriggers on both of them. You can put them out if we wanted to.
Yep.
This one's a little bit more tonnage, but doesn't really matter. That's all.
As you
need
can
for a
see,
single edge,
it
yeah.
didn't even sweat on any of the wood we had.
No. Your,
So-
your new drive chain on there with the new teeth is awesome.
Yep,
Because it picks it up really good. Because originally you had just a plate,
that's it.
and that was the first version, and then they upgraded. And now this thing works
Well,
awesome.
once again, I wish we had an opportunity to do the new version against this to see like for like, because I'm sure that there are other things that are not.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's it. But
Every company continually upgrades and improves.
well, let's
things,
hope they do.
That's the way they stay in business, and that's why competition is good.
Innovation is the name of the game when it comes to.
It's the same as, the Ford Dodge Chevy fight.
Yep.
In Eastonmade and Wolfe Ridge, they're making each other better all the time.
Yeah,
and
there are other companies out there too that make the vertical splitters, but once again, these seem to be the two most popular out there.
Yeah, they both were great. So whatever you decide to buy, you'll be happy.
You're good, yeah.
Good companies.
Now,
good
if you
people.
have any questions that we didn't answer and you have the you should, you're right, we should. So go ahead and reach out to either Wolfe Ridge or Eastonmade. They'll answer all the questions, or go to their website.
Or go to the shows and watch the machines run and play
Exactly.
with them yourself.
There isn't anything better than hands-on when you're buying a machine this expensive. You want to test it before you buy it.
Absolutely.
Just like your wife said about you.
It was the other way around.
Oh, was it? Well, I hope you've enjoyed this, and if so, please like, share, and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. Oh, and by the way, we'll have all the information on both companies in the info section below. So remember, pass it forward, make the world a better place. And don't be a tool. Watch Tony's Cool Tools.
You do that pretty good.
I know.